Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Skull and Bones 2 and 2 here, and in today's Gears of War E-Day video, we're going to be talking about some things that I potentially would love to see come to Horde. We know that Horde is a 12-player game mode. It's not really a game mode I'm excited for. I know some of my friends like Horde. Some casual gamers love Horde. I'm more of a competitive multiplayer guy, and I am focused on doing showcases for characters, guns, maps, playing competitive game modes, stuff like that, the esports side of things. But for the players that do love Gears of War and Horde and stuff like that, this video is probably going to be for you. Some things that we can potentially see is a big map. We know that Gears of War E-Day takes place in Kelowna. The whole premise of this game is just dealing about the city and stuff. Sure, multiplayer might take us to different locations across Sarah, but E-Day specifically targets being in the city, and so I feel like story mode and horde mode are the closest two modes that fit together narratively and within the lore. So with that being said, we can talk about a returning structure to Gears Horde. Gears Horde introduced classes and perks and stuff through 4 and 5, and I think that we can see that make a return in Gears of War E-Day, and the only reason I say that is because I don't really think, at least for the Coalition, they seem to see that there's really any flavor in a normal Horde mode where you just choose your characters and survive for 50 waves. There's not really, I guess, evolution within that. There's not anything that can promote growth within that space. So having classes and abilities with classes allow the character, the player, to level up their character, to grow with their character in the game mode, to give you more different ways to play the game as well. So I do think that we'll be seeing a return to classes in Gears of War E-Day. Gears of War E-Day will feature more than likely a big map. Let's be honest. 12 players on a map, 12 players are not going to fit on an average multiplayer map for Horde. That's just not something that I think is going to work. I do believe that if we do get a big map, Horde has to shift completely. And the reason I say that is because on a big map, a big city map that will possibly be able to explore all the way through, there's no way that we're going to be able to just do it by waves. That formula just doesn't work, in my opinion. So I'm starting to think that possibly we may see a change in Horde for the sole fact that because we're going to be playing on a big map, we may have objectives that we have to reach, whether that's defeating bosses, getting loot, taking loot out of the match that we just completed and applying that towards our Horde classes, skills, abilities, maybe even customization that we can loot throughout the city in this new Horde mode, Horde Siege. I'd like to say that for the new Horde mode, if we're going to be on a big city and we're fighting bosses that, again, we're interacting with other squads. It's not just our squad of 4 people. We are interacting with other teams in real time, from what they said, on I want to say big map. I think we're going to be getting a big map. We're going to be playing Horde very differently. And I think that the introduction of 12 teams makes it interesting because let's say this. I'm going to put a picture on screen now. I'm going to use the Gears 5 campaign map, right? Let's use this as reference. Let's say that this big map is the Gears Horde map. Now, different teams spawn in different locations around the city. Your goal as a squad is to try and defeat the bosses or Horde bosses, whatever case it may be that they have set up on the map. And your whole thing is you want to take the risk and defeat these bosses, survive, explore the city, and then extract. And I think they're going to be taking an extraction game mode type approach to the way you end these matches or your session while you're in the game mode with other people. You have the option to possibly leave. I want to say something from Gears Escape. A chopper comes for you. This isn't anything new. We've gotten this in Gears 5. At the end of your hive run in Gears Escape, a chopper waits for you. You extract. What I think would be cool, though, is if we're going to be taking cues from Arc Raiders and implementing it into this big Horde mode, right? We're extracting. We're choosing to leave the game early because we are content with what we've done in our session. We've killed the bosses we want to kill, gotten the rewards in our Hordes match. We got the customization pieces we probably wanted that were locked behind a boss that we had to kill on the map, like a high value target or something like that, and now we want to leave and take our loot back that we just got from this session, put that in builds towards our classes, our customization, our guns, take it in, show it off into the next match, rinse, wash, repeat. And it gives a ton of playability, not being locked on a multiplayer map. We have free roam of range, we just have free roam to just go wherever we want on the map. So let's say that we're getting extracted by Raven. I think it would be cooler this time where when we get extracted while we're leaving, why don't we have the option to fight back as we're leaving, right? So before a cutscene would play, helicopter comes, scoops us up, we leave. What if this time helicopter comes, we have to defend the area where the helicopter is landing, and then we have to shoot out of the guns out of the helicopter, the King Raven, as we leave. And then once we're gone, then we can take all our loot, restart for the next match, if that's something we want to do, and go back in. I do think that if we're going to be getting a big map, it's going to be something that could evolve over time. They could do POI changes. They could update the map over time. Or there's also the fact that we could get multiple big maps. They did it in Gears 5. Who's to say they won't do it in Gears E-Day? Let's say that hypothetically we get multiple big maps. Each map will have a different experience, different ways to play. And this leads into the other thing too. Ways of traversing the map. This is the first Gears of War where we'll be able to use verticality and, slide and jump and explore the map as deeply as ever. What if, we can rappel onto roofs and we can take, rope rappels to get to high ground and stuff like that, or zip lines or something. How cool that would be to just get to cross, rooftops and stay on high ground before dropping back down to the street to fight locusts. I genuinely think that would be cool. It just offers so much replayability on a big map because there's only so much you can do on a big map. Gears 5 was very clear cut and dry. I mean, you walked around, you found some collectibles, you fought some enemies. You really couldn't do that much deep exploring within the city or the map that you were in, and that was it. Not really that exciting. So I feel like in this game mode for Horde, they're going to have to take all the money, all the bread, put it into this game mode and make it obviously something that is worth playing. I think there has to be a reward for playing Horde Siege. It can't just be we're playing because we like surviving, wave after wave after wave and upgrading our classes and stuff. There's got to be something that comes with it. I want to say whether that's in the form of unique customization that's only exclusive to completing Horde mode challenges, completing events in the new Horde Siege mode with 12 players. You're interacting with squads across the map. How cool would it be if you're on a map fighting a big boss and you're not having a good time beating the boss because it's just too hard with the gear and the current team you have? All of a sudden, another team from across the way sees you guys needing help and decides to clear that boss with you. And then you guys, after the boss fight, you've gotten what you've needed from it. Everybody goes their separate ways. Or you stick for the duration of the Horde match and you guys decide to evac the same way. You guys all want to defend the same chopper and leave on the same chopper. Just food for thought. Something that I think would be very cool in terms of Horde. I know a lot of people don't like that. It would probably be me discussing something more along the lines of Arc Raiders and Battle Royale. But Gears, I feel like, has had ample opportunity, and it's long overdue for us to have something of large scale, regardless of the mode. Imagine if we're in Horde Siege and we can drive vehicles like APCs, and we can drive tanks and stuff like that, Centaur tanks. Imagine the possibilities endless. We're on a big open city. There's no reason why I feel like we should be limited to also on foot gameplay. It'd be nice to have vehicular combat in the game as well. I would expect locust enemies to be varying. Obviously we have to take, we know round 10 in every Horde mode is a boss fight. So excluding the big boss that's on the map alongside miniature bosses, what if there's a countdown or a condition where all the enemies that spawn in for some reason are special locusts and they're a lot harder to kill besides the bosses and stuff that you're already fighting. So that's just food for thought. Just thinking about ways we can scale the city, going through buildings, each floor, clearing each floor, taking zip lines and rappelling up buildings for height, what else? Talking about how, the maps could possibly be larger because it's Horde Siege. 12 players means you got to have a lot of space on a big map. I'm just saying. It only logically makes sense. And these are just things that I'm hypothetically saying could come to the game. We won't know until the obvious release game, until launch. So that's pretty much what I have to say regarding Horde. This is a video that I did want to make before I got back to some of the regular formula videos of gears that I wanted to do. But just food for thought. If any news comes out with the game, I will be the first to cover it. I will try my hardest to put that out there for you guys, because I know you like hearing everything new dealing with this game, as the coalition has been very hush-hush after the E-Day Direct for a very good reason. So with that being said and out of the way, leave a comment, like, subscribe, spread the video to your friends. This is your boy Skull and Bones 2 and 2, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.